Hi, good morning, everyone. We'll be starting with the pay or play technical assistance training for today. We just want to make sure we keep the housekeeping rules moving forward to make sure that all attendees please stay on mute throughout the presentation. I'm Lakeisha Tate, Administrative Manager, who will be presenting the virtual technical assistance training for pay or play. If you have any questions, put all questions in the chat box. They will be answered at the end of my presentation. So we can provide you an even better experience. We're collecting feedback on how we perform in our presentation. So at the end of this presentation, a link will be provided in the chat box for a survey. Please complete the survey. And all of the presentations are recorded and they should be available on the website by next week. The division contact information is that Keith Bynum is our Director of Housing Community Development Department, and Crystal Boyce is the Division Manager, which oversees pre-awards, Section 3, MWBE, and pay or play. I'm Lakeisha Tate, the Administrative Manager for pre-award services and also pay or play. So temporarily, I will be monitoring the pay or play compliance requirements on HCD projects that are applicable to pay or play. Until we have fulfilled the pay or play administrative coordinator positions, I will be serving as the pay or play administrator. So if you have any questions or concerns regarding pay or play compliance requirements, you can email me, lakeisha.tates@houstontx.gov, or contact me by phone, which is 832-394-6345. And my information is also provided in the chat box. Please make sure all attendees keep their mics on mute. So today for pay or play, we'll be discussing the pay or play program definitions, the pay or play requirements, how to submit your pay or play submissions in B2G. We'll talk about closeout evaluations, frequently asked questions, and additional resources as it relates to pay or play. The pay or play program overview. So as some of you may know, the Office of Business Opportunity is the overseer of the pay or play program. Contractors, the pay or play program offers is for contractors who do not provide health care benefits for their workforce, pose a burden on the public and private agencies. The program was created to level the playing field during the bid process for vendors, as the cost of providing insurance or failure to provide insurance to employees influence the bids submitted by contractors for city work. The pay or play program seeks to offset cost of caring of uninsured residents in Houston and Harris County area. The pay or play program requires the City of Houston contractors to either contribute a prescribed amount to a contractor responsibility fund for their uninsured employees or provide their employees with a minimum level of health care benefits. The contract responsibility fund is used to support healthcare programs by providing affordable emergency medical resources, access to healthcare benefits, and assistance with finding social and medical services for city contractors and the uninsured. Contractors that do not provide healthcare benefits for their workforce impose a burden on the public and private agencies. So the city has implemented this program to enhance fairness in the competition for contracts between bidders that offer healthcare benefits and those that do not. You can always refer to Executive Order 1 through 7 for additional information regarding the pay or play program. So, what are pay or play covered contracts? So, for your prime contractor or general contractor, any contract in excess of $100,000, and for your subcontractors, any contract in excess of $200,000, those primes or subcontractors will be applicable to pay or play and will be considered a covered contract. This goes for your professional services, your construction, and your service type contracts. This is also for any on-call, work order, job solutions. They are also covered contracts. The pay or play program does not apply to any of our suppliers or any procurement contract where 51% or more of the project will be either supplied or procured. This is for your intergovernmental contracts, interlocal agreements, or bulk purchasing contracts. Pay or play does not apply. So any contract for which the city has not expended funds regardless of the funding, then pay or play will not be required. For our contractors that utilize self-employment or owner-operators that are truck drivers, day laborers, 1099 workers, they are exempt from pay or play. Those contractors that have employees that are truck drivers, day laborers, or 1099s, you will be required to submit a notarized statement saying that those individual employees, are day laborers, truck drivers, or 1099 workers? So if you have several employees, you'll just get a notarized statement, put all those employees on that notarized statement, submit it over to your assigned pay or play administrator, and then we will forward it over to the Office of Business Opportunity for approval. That notarized statement is only required one time throughout the duration of the project for those individuals to be considered exempt. What are POP covered employees? So our POP covered employees will be any employees of your general contractor or your subcontractor that are over the age of 18 and work at least 30 hours a week and any amount of time on a city contract. We also want to know for our DR-17 funded projects, all of those Section 3 employees are required to be provided pay or play benefits. Our first pop quiz regarding pay or play. Which of the following type of contractors must comply with compliance on a pay or play contract? If you want to participate, you think you have the answer, please put your answer in the chat box. The following type of contractors may comply with pay or play compliance on a project contract. The answer would be, so A has a HVA subcontractor with a contract of $150,000. B has material supplier with a contract of $200,000. C has engineering subcontractor whose contract is $100,000, or D, a paving subcontract with a contract of $250,000. The answer is D. As I stated before, any subcontractor with a contract in excess of $200,000 will be required to adhere to pay or play requirements. So during the pre-construction meeting, we discussed how, and I discussed it during the pre-awards, that the POP 1 acknowledgement form is going to be required to be submitted by the prime contractor only. That POP 1 is going to acknowledge how that prime contractor will participate in the pay or play program. The POP 2 form is a certification of compliance. Certification of compliance will be provided by both your prime and all of your subs who contract is in excess of $200,000. It will tell us, will that prime or that subcontractor be a pay, play, or both? If how many employees they estimate will be working for the prime or the subcontractors, and if they have any exempt employees. They will list that on the POP 2 form. The prime will upload the POP 2 form in LCP Tracker. The sub will upload the POP 2 form in LCP Tracker. The POP 3 form, the list of subcontractors, is only to be completed by the prime only. That will list all of your contractors working on the project, whether they are exempt or not. So you would submit that POP 3 form and upload it in LCP Tracker. The B2G access form is just a form to indicate who will be the person responsible for pay or play for the prime, and that will be uploaded in LCP Tracker. So POP 1, POP 2, and POP 3 in the access form is provided to my attention during the pre-award phase and approved. But once I approve it, and once you get access to LCP Tracker, those documents are to be uploaded in LCP Tracker. So the prime will upload it under their prime identification, and then you will upload it under the POP folder. For your subs, they are to upload the POP 2 form under their subs under pay or play documents. So this is what the POP 2 forms look like, and like I said, it's required by the prime and the sub. You want to make sure that you're putting the name of, are you the prime or the sub? You're making sure that you're putting the contract description, which you should have a contract number in the name of the project. You want to make sure the contracting department indicates, that it's housing, and make sure all of that information is completed and that it's signed. So the pay or play program requirements. So if you're going to be considered a pay vendor, that means you will contribute $1 per hour per covered employee for each regular hour on a pay or play covered contract up to 40 hours a week. The pay vendors are going to submit a weekly workforce in B2G for each covered employee on the project. So you will have your login, you will go into B2G, you will go into the workforce employee list, and you will fill in your audit. You will complete whatever covered employees is listed. You're going to complete the hours, both hours, the total hours and the hours worked for each active week on the project. If you did not work for that week, you're going to put no work performed. So, the weekly workforce submissions, here are examples that we can go through to help you understand what your expectations and requirements is for a pay vendor. So if John is a covered employee and he is not offered paid benefits, the employee must submit the submissions listed John hours on the project in B2G workforce audit. So if you're not offered pay or play benefits, then you must submit pay submissions listing John hours in B2G under the workforce audit. John is a covered employee who is also offered pay or play benefits but refuses them. The employee must submit the Prop 8 form to my attention for John for review and approval. John will not be considered exempt until that Prop 8 form has been approved. Once the Prop 8 form is approved, that subcontractor or that prime contractor that John works for is going to upload that approved Prop 8 form in LCP tracker for the prime or for that subcontractor. John is a covered employee and has insurance through his spouse. The employer should complete a Prop 8 form and submit it for review and approval. You must also submit documentation that he has insurance with his spouse. So we're looking for the front and the back of the insurance card that they have to say that they have insurance. So you're going to submit the Prop 8 and the front and back of the insurance card to your assigned pay administrator for review and approval. Once approved, you will be provided the Prop 8 form along with the supporting documentation, and that must be uploaded in LCP Tracker. John is a covered employee and accepts the pay or play benefits offered to him. John will be considered a play employee and hours are not required. So John will be considered a play employee and you're not required to fill in hours for your pay employees. Just do your play submission. How do you submit your total and work hours? So when you go into the B2G workforce audit and you go under workforce employee list, audit list, you're going to fill in your audit. It should have all of your covered employees listed, and then your total hours will be the hours that those covered employees worked for you as the contractor. Hours worked are the hours that they worked on the city project only for that specific city project. So make sure that you are filling in the total hours that they work for you as an employer and the hours that they work for the city. So they might work 40 hours for you, but they only might have worked 10 hours on the city project, and that's okay. If they are a paid vendor, the system is only going to invoice them for the hours that they worked on the city project. You're going to hit review. So if you are a Prop 8 employer, you want to be a Prop 8 employee, you want to be waived or considered exempt, then you must make sure that your employee has insurance through their spouse or they have Medicaid or Medicare. And you're going to complete that Prop 8 form and attach that supporting documentation. For all insurance cards, you must have a copy of the front and back, and your Prop 8 must be completed entirely and it must be notarized. Employee reject employee healthcare benefit insurance that meets pay or play minimum requirements. Must have an approved Prop 8 on file and LCP tracker with an employee for rejection. So on the Prop 8 form, it has an option where the employee can check that they decline the insurance. If they decline the insurance, that employee must handwrite that part that says employee affidavit. That information must be handwritten by that employee. And that employee must give a legitimate reason on why they are declining the insurance. The employer they also must put the amount that the employee would have to pay in the amount that the employee offered. Those amounts must meet the City of Houston health insurance standard requirements, the 75-25 rule. That form, Prop 8 form, once it's approved, you will have to submit that on an annual basis. The Prop 8 exemptions are only for an annual. So every year you're going to have to resubmit that Prop 8 for approval. So here's a copy of what the Prop 8 employer waiver looks like. You want to make sure that if you're the prime, you're putting the prime name. If you're the subcontractor, you're putting the name of the sub. You want to make sure that you're putting the contract, which is a 46 number, and the description of the contract, and the contracting department is going to be HCD. You want to make sure you're signing and dating it, and then right under where it says employee affidavit, that is only to be completed by the employee, and it must be handwritten and signed by the employee. You want to make sure that it's notarized and provide all supporting documentation attached with the POP 8 or it will be disapproved. So we have another technical assistance POP quiz for you guys. Which of the following employees is eligible for POP 8 exemption? A, employee who purchased their own healthcare insurance. B, employee who rejects pay or play coverage that costs them 25% of the total cost. C, an employee who is not offered healthcare insurance by their employer. Or D, both B and C. So the answer is an employee who rejects pay or play coverage that costs them 25% of the total cost. That is the answer. Which of the following employee is eligible for a POP 8 exemption? An employee who rejects pay or play coverage that costs them 25% of the total cost. Like I just explained, if they decline, it must meet the 75-25 rule for them to be POP exempt. So we'll get into our play submissions. So play submissions are only required to be uploaded on a quarterly basis. So your pay or play healthcare benefits must meet or exceed the following standards. The employee will contribute no less than 75% per covered employee per month toward the total premium cost. The employee contribution, if any amount, will be no greater than 25% of the monthly premium cost. On a quarterly basis, the play covered contractors are to submit company health care insurance invoices that details the cost of coverage for each play employee, along with the POP 7 form. The POP 7 form is for us to verify that each covered employee meets the 75-25 rule. When you're submitting your play submissions, they are to be submitted on a quarterly report. You are going to be reporting company healthcare insurance invoices for the previous 3 months. So the last quarter of reporting was due January. That means you should have submitted October, November, and December for the first week in January on your workforce audit. On an annual basis, we're looking for you to submit your benefits package. Play vendors must submit it on a quarterly basis. You want to make sure that you're going into B2G, you're creating your workforce employee list and listing all of those covered employees working on the contract. That's including your supervisors. That's including anybody that work in the office. That's including anybody that is working on your project, whether on site or in office, are to be listed on your workforce employee list. For each employee, you are to provide either an approved exemption form, which is POP 8, or you're going to provide proof of healthcare insurance for the 3 months for that quarter, along with the POP 7 form. What is not required as a play vendor is submitting weekly hours or weekly submissions. And we will not going to accept any payroll checks or anything like that. We need you to upload your company invoice statements, not payroll deduction forms, not anything like that. We need to see your monthly insurance statements for that quarter. Here's a copy of what the POP 7 form looks like. So each time you submit your quarterly report, you must upload the POP 7 form along with your company invoices. We're looking for you to provide the information at the top, and you're going to list all of your covered employees and not include the ones that are exempt, only the covered employees, not the exempt employees. You're going to put the amount the employer contribute, and you're going to put the amount that the employee contribute. Here is another pop quiz for you guys. General Construction LLC has a covered employee that receives health care coverage that costs the company 75% for single coverage. A, general contractor does not meet minimum POP requirements. B, general construction meets pay or play requirements. C, general construction must submit quarterly pay or play submissions and submit annual benefit package. And D is both B and C. The answer is both B and C. The general construction meets the pay or play requirements, and the general construction must submit pay or play quarterly POP submissions along with their annual benefit package. Great job. How to submit to B2G. So, B2G is the management system for all POP submissions. That's including your POP 5, which is your weekly labor, and your POP 7 is for play vendors. So we refer to POP 5 for our pay vendors, and POP 7 will be for your play vendors. We utilize the Chase portal in B2G to pay all POP invoices for our pay vendors. Any other forms should be uploaded in LCP Tracker. B2G overview. You will take a look at how to view your pay or play contracts in B2G, how to add your employees in B2G, how to assign the employees to your particular contract, how to submit your workforce audits, how to fill in the workforce audits, and how to save and certify your audits. We also have a step-by-step tutorial and frequently answered questions to help provide you guys guidance with submissions for pay or play in B2G. So first, when you go in to select your pay or play project, you're going to log in, you're going to look to the left and click on your contracts. Once you click on your contracts, it's going to be a list of contracts if you have more than one. So you're going to look for the particular contract that you're trying to submit your pay or your play submissions on. You're going to click on view. Once you click on view, you're going to go to the workforce employee list and you're going to click on add employee. When you go and add employees, you're going to make sure you put in their first name, last name. You're going to put your active, and then you're going to go and assign the employee. Once you assign the employee, you're going to indicate that they're active. You're going to indicate it's a drop-down box to indicate that they're going to be a pay or play. Then once that employee has been added to your employee list, you're going to go to the workforce audit list, and you're going to start looking at your workforce audit weeks. So your pay or play submissions are going to be required to be submitted from the start of work until the termination of work. So when you go in, if you are a pay vendor, you're going to go in from your start of work date, the first week, and you're going to click view, and you're going to click on fill in audit, and you're going to fill in the audit, and then you're going to put in the total hours worked for those covered employees. The total hours worked are the hours that they worked for you, the employee, and the hours worked are only for the hours that they worked on this particular City of Houston project. You're going to click review and certify, save and certify. Your audit will be rejected if you did not include those total hours. So it's very important that you are reporting the total hours that they work for you as an employer and the total hours that they actually worked on the City of Houston project. If both fields are not completed, your audit will be rejected. Here is another pop quiz. ACME covered employee Angela is offered healthcare insurance that meets pay or play minimum requirements. Which must be true if ACME is a play vendor? A, Angela pays no more than 25% of the total cost of her personal health care costs. B, ACM engineering will be required to submit weekly submissions. C, ACME does not have to submit pay or play submissions. Or D, ACME engineering will be exempt from pay or play. The answer is Angela pays no more than 25% of the total cost of her personal health care costs. So we'll go into discussing the closeout evaluation on pay or play applicable projects. So when we're looking to do the closeout for pay or play, we want to make sure that all contractors submit all of the pay or play documents. So you want to make sure your POP 1, 2, and 3 are submitted by the primes, the POP 2s are submitted by all subs. And if you have any POP 8s, that they are all uploaded to the LCP tracker. You want to make sure that all of your POP invoices for each pay vendor should be paid prior to close and that you have no open or outstanding POP invoices. You want to make sure that from the termination of work and the start of work, that all of your pay submissions have been submitted in B2G. Once a subcontractor or the prime contractor has completed their project, you must go in under that workforce audit week and mark it as final. When you mark it as final, that will notify your assigned payer play liaison to mark the vendor as inactive, and that when vendor would no longer receive those the payer play workforce audits. So you want to make sure that y'all are indicating that final when work has been completed. That means that you have submitted your termination of work and that the work is completed. I also want to note that for some of you that are submitting work on hold notices, when you submit work on hold notices, that is not applicable to pay or play. You are to still submit your pay submissions and your play submissions during that work on hold. Now, if you are a pay vendor, you will go in during that time frame and just put no work performed under each workforce audit. If you are a play vendor, you are still to report on a quarterly basis for those covered employees. Work on hold notice does not stop you from submitting your pay or play compliance requirements. Frequently asked questions. So, do only employees working on the job site have to be listed on the workforce audit submissions? No. All employees who have worked on the city contract, whether they are on site or in the office, have to be included in the workforce audit. As a reference, the employees listed on the LCP tracker should match what's listed in the workforce audit. So if you are a pay vendor, we do cross-reference LCP tracker payroll records to ensure that the hours that you are reporting are the hours that are accurately reported in LCP tracker. We also want to make sure that for any employees, whether they're working on site or in the office, that you are listing them on your workforce employee list. My employee has insurance on his or her own, and my company does not pay for it. Does that mean we are considered play? Only companies that offer or supplement the cost of insurance coverage for their employees will be considered play. If your company does not offer or supplement the insurance your employee has, you will have to be a pay vendor and submit weekly workforce labor hours for that employee. I'm a subcontractor on the city people contract, and my contract ends before the prime contract finishes the job. Do I still have to submit pay or play submissions? No. Please ask your contractor to submit a total of work termination and LCP tracker with the date your contract was completed, and you are to submit final on your final workforce audit in B2G. So make sure that y'all are uploading those termination of work notices in LCP tracker, because your assigned contract administrator used that termination of work to make sure that contractor is inactive, so we can stop sending so B2G can stop sending those workforce audit alerts if work has been completed for that contractor. The subcontractors have to comply with the Fair Play program if they are not MWBE or SBE. So all professional service constructions or general service contracts whose contract is over 200,000 have to comply with fair play. So it doesn't matter if you're MWSBE Section 3 or you a compliance consultant, as long as you are not a supplier, you are to adhere to fair play requirements. And you want to make sure that all employees who are working on a DR7 funded project, they must be provided fair play incentives. Does any of the payments to pay or play benefit my company? Unfortunately, no. The pay or play payments are deposited into a contract responsibility fund, and the money is used to offset the costs for the uninsured in the Houston and Harris County area. You can visit the Austin Business Opportunity website where they provide you a list of the agencies that we work with that the funds are allocated to. So we have additional resources that we can provide to you regarding the pay or play program. So where should the pay or play forms 1, 2, and 3 be submitted? Those forms should be submitted in LCP Tracker. How to submit the FOP8 form? As discussed, the FOP8 form should be submitted to your assigned pay or play liaison via email for it to be reviewed and approved by the Office of Business Opportunity. Once that FOP8 form has been approved, it will be sent back to that prime contractor or subcontractor, and those approved forms should be uploaded in LCP Tracker under that prime or subcontract. How do I submit play or insurance submissions? So your play and your insurance submissions will be uploaded in B2G under the workforce audit list on a quarterly basis. And we require you to upload your insurance submissions in the POP7 form the first week of their reporting month. So the previous quarterly submission would have been due January. So we're looking for on that first week of January for you to upload your pay submissions. How to submit paid workforce audit. So you would definitely go into B2G, click on that workforce audit week under workforce audit list, and fill in your audit by completing the total hours worked and the hours worked on the city contract. How to make a pay or play payment. So once you go in and you report those hours, your assigned administrator will go in there and certify those hours and create an invoice for you. Once they create an invoice for you, they will send you out an initial email. And in that email, it will have your invoice and it will have a link for you to click on to make that payment through our Chase portal app. So here we have a B2G Pay or Play step-by-step tutorial that is provided to you to give you, additional information on how to, find your contract, how to make your pay submissions, and all of that. That information is provided to all of the primes and the subs at the beginning of the project, or anytime you need a copy of the step-by-step tutorial, please send me an email or your assigned pay or play contractor, and we'll provide you all additional resources and tutorials to help assist you with your pay or play compliance requirements. So at this time, if you have any questions or comments, I would definitely like to answer any of your questions or comments regarding pay or play at this time. No. So any contract that's under $200,000, pay or play does not apply to you. So you would need to submit a POP9 to say you're a self-insured contractor, and you would need to submit all of the supporting documentation that's listed on the POP9. That will need to be submitted to your POP liaison via email, and then it will be forwarded over to Office of Business Opportunity for review and approval. Please note that you must submit all required documentation under supporting documentation to be considered a POP9 self-insured. I will definitely tell you that from what I have seen so far, I have not seen one contractor that has got approved for the self-insured. So you want to make sure that if you are self-insured, that you are able to provide that supporting documentation to our office so we can get it over to OBO so they can, classify you as a self-insured. Repeat it, I can hear what it said. Does the org?
Yep. I'll clarify. So in B2G now, there's some notes that identify accepted by org or pending acceptance by org. Who is the org?
HCD.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So I also I didn't talk about, so for pay or play, we typically do send out compliance status reports on our active projects, which details the prime contract as well as all of the POP applicable subcontractors working on the project, to notify you of items that have been received or items that are outstanding. So make sure that you're reviewing those compliance status reports. But in the event that you did not receive a compliance status report, you need to make sure that you're doing your due diligence by ensuring that you, the prime, or any of your subcontractors that are applicable to POP are adhering to pay or play. So we definitely look forward to providing that compliance status report as a courtesy, but we also want to make sure that all of the contractors are doing their due diligence by ensuring that they are applying to the pay or play program if they are a pay vendor or if they are a play vendor, right? Because we definitely want to make sure that you are in compliance throughout the duration of the project, because they are payment draws that are submitted to your assigned pay or play contract administrator. And when they submit those payment draws to your assigned contract administrator, the administrator is going to go into B2G LCP tracker to make sure that those pay vendors and those play vendors are adhering to the pay or play requirements. So you want to make sure that you're keeping track, that you're submitting your weekly submissions as well as your quarterly submissions, because you don't want that to be the reason that your payment draw is held because you're not adhering to pay or play compliance requirements, right? And if we don't have any other concerns or questions, that concludes the pay or play technical assistance training. And with that being said, I just want to thank you all for attending contract compliance technical assistance training. We hope that you found these technical assistance trainings to be very informative and worthwhile. Our primary goal was to increase your understanding of applicable program rules and requirements and provide resources and guidance that will assist with ensuring 100% in compliance on HCD projects throughout the duration of your projects. There were many topics covered during the technical assistance trainings, and the presenters did an outstanding job for sharing their expertise with you all. If you would like to contact any presenters with questions, please review their contact information in the chat box. Thank you for your comments and questions, and we also like to share your valuable feedback for future planning of our technical assistance training. So please make sure you complete the survey. The link is provided to you in the chat, and we will ensure that each survey will be given consideration so that future technical assistance training will be even more of a success. We wish you the best on housing community development projects. So if I can be of any help in any way, if you have any questions regarding pre-award to pay or play, or even NWSP or Section 3, please feel free to contact me. I have an open door policy regarding your contacting me by email or telephone. Again, thank you for being part of the contract compliance technical assistance training. Please recommend and encourage all the contractors, the vendors, your subcontractors, suppliers, service providers, and compliance consultants working on HCD projects to participate in trainings in the future. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you on HCD projects. I wish you the best, and y'all have a great day.